Thank you. Thanks, Safara and Inky. Nice to see you guys here. And yeah, my mic was off. Fancy that. That's good because I wasn't really I was kind of rambling anyway. Yeah, so I'm gonna do some more channel recommendations today, and but these specifically for other people who talk about synthesizers and talk about audio production and all that, and music production and all that stuff as well. And so I'm going to go down a list of that, and then afterwards I'm going to put them in the description. Um, and yeah, but that'll be up like an hour after I post this. So anyone in here who wants to go straight there is gonna have to well, just know what I'm talking about, or be lucky with Google or something like that before I get the description done. Okay, so yeah, and I want to just mention that last week I tried to live stream, and yeah, so that's the second time I've been trying to live stream in 2 weeks that they went to work on the utility pole right when I decided to do that. And this time I was actually live streaming, and that happened. So I was so mad and mostly sad about that whole experience that I just decided screw it, and but that I want to take what I started to do there and make a whole track with it and do what I really should be doing anyway, and turn that into motivation towards using my circuit fully. So I think we all have circuits here or something like it, groove boxes and whatnot, that you're not using everything, that you're just going like, okay, it's good now, after using one session in the circuit. And what I want to specifically do is use at least 8 sessions. You can't see it. I see because it's too bright, but I've freed up 8 sessions and made them purple so that I will actually use at least 8 sessions for a song, or it might end up being so long that it's a set. But we'll see about the complexity of it. I just want to make sure that I use more sessions and not just call it good after the first 1 or 2 sessions, which is all I've done so far. Plus, I haven't used hardly any of the features, so I want to spend time using features that I just don't ever bother using on the circuit, like panning. I've never used, and it's amazing, and I love panning. So stuff like that. Yeah. So yeah, and so basically, oh yeah, let's go ahead, and I want to make that a challenge to anyone who reads this anytime. There's no time limit on this, but yeah, post a video of you on the circuit uh, using at least 8 sessions on the circuit to make something, a song, a set, a track, whatever you want to call it. But you have to use 8 sessions, and what that actually also, I think, theoretically is going to do is make sure that you have changes throughout your song, which is something I like. Maybe sometimes some people like to just get into the groove, and that's cool too. And with 8 sessions, you could still write music like that potentially, right? And not have it like change and change and change, in every way across sessions. And so that's kind of like, how do you use sessions better to do transitions in the way it was meant, in the way it was made to do, instead of seeing it as a limitation. Yeah, so looks like I'm live. Okay. I always give myself a notification on that. Yeah, so hi everybody. Wow. Hi Matthew Stratton. You're awesome. I started following you a little while ago, months and months ago, a little over a year ago, I think. Yeah, you are awesome. And I was into the NPC Live for a little while too, and I'm still kind of in the air about what my brain's going to be, because I looked at the Octatrack a lot too and stuff like that. And so now there's the SL Mark III, and I wanted to talk about that today specifically, so it's not just a tangent. Should I get the SL Mark III? I'm a circuit user. It's a little bit limited in that it's always going to be quantized, so you need something else besides it, if you want, or play live if you want unquantized, non-step sequenced stuff. I mean, it's going to be the same in Eurorack pretty much. Basically, you've got a clock, and you gotta use your classic step sequencer with a clock, right? And you can do polyrhythms and stuff like you still will be able to do on the SL Mark III and the circuit. But but it's everything you do into the circuit and put into the sequencer is then quantized after you do it. But it's also good at playing things in live as well, and just not even maybe not even saving them on the circuit, but maybe even recording it into the mixer and not pressing record on the sequencer. And then you've got your unsequenced still. But that's all about performing live, and I kind of want to perform live with a bunch of synths, hardware synths, and so yeah. But I'm not really interested in the computer side of it, in the DAW side of it, being able to do both at the same time, because yeah, I'm not wanting to think about latency issues anymore right at this era in what I'm doing. Yeah. So, yeah, what else? Oh, January is coming up. Everyone needs to speaking of challenges, see, okay, I have no social media but YouTube, and I plan to keep it that way. So I know I'm going to be on the fringe of a lot of the actual synth community, but this is the YouTube synth community people that I'm going to list here. Yeah, but anyways, in terms of challenges, I might get on other people's challenges, even though they're Facebook or Instagram challenges, and I don't even know that there's like tons of them that I'm not watching because they're not on YouTube. And that sucks. But speaking of, January was an Instagram sort of birth thing, and it bled over to YouTube, and I'm really into that, and I'm going to do every day every day of January, once a day. Think about what you guys are going to do and how you're going to do it. I might just do a just circuit thing or something like that, or just DFAM or something like that. Is Darren here too? Cool. I'm sorry I'm missing the chat. You guys can just keep on going, because I am just all about the talking. Yeah. Oh yeah, Darren, awesome. You are awesome as well. I've been watching your stuff. Yeah, and yeah, so let's just get in on it. Also, NAMM is coming up. NAMM is January 24th through the 27th, Winter NAMM here, North American Music Marketing Convention. And I'm not going this year, but I have this dream to be going to NAMM at some point. And my daughter wouldn't mind, because she has all sorts of reasons why she already would love to go to California. But yeah, it's not in the cards this year. But I'm gonna like plan to do it for next year, and then go around and make videos, because I think there could be more people doing that as well. And I have certain things that I'm interested in, especially a lot of Eurorack stuff. So let's get into it. First of all, I have been always up on the Molten Music Monthly Robbins stuff. And where am I from? I'm from Olympia, Washington, if that's who you're asking. If you're asking someone else, that's cool. And it's nice to see you here. I love your videos too, Sebastian. Yeah, so Molten Music Monthly, Robin runs a technology news website, sort of. I think he like works for a larger one that does like Surface stuff and all sorts of other technology. But he is getting into modular, and he's always been into the audio music production world, and has had helpful videos on that stuff. And so, but he does just, I think it's weekly, because I haven't kept up so much. It seems to me like I've only been seeing like once a month, but so it might be a monthly thing. Yeah, but oh yeah, it is a monthly thing. And I just saw the November one, and he has a modular, and he actually uses a 3-tier Moog rack, but he does the Eurorack 3 tiers of Eurorack in 104 wide, which is wider, much wider than that. And he's into that, and does live streams, and he really is into being down to earth and interacting with everyone too, and answering questions. And he's got a lot of good perspective on stuff, and he's chill and cool and stuff. And so he's the first person I would recommend as someone to watch who also is just hang out and talk about synths or make videos talking about audio gear and synthesizers. And he is very, I think, with it, perceptive, knowledgeable, intelligent, all that. So the next one would be Mylar Melodies. He has a show called Why We Bleep. It's a series, Why We Bleep, and that'll keep you going for a while because that's a lot of content because they're like hours and hours long, each of them. And there are many out now, at least like 7 or 8, and I'm up to 3. And they've been very good. If you're into hardware, getting into modular, getting into performing live, performing music live in any way, or especially performing synthesizers live in this age where people might be actually interested in that sort of stuff more and more, then yeah, it's real talk from people who are just have been doing it and have been trying it, especially Mylar Melodies himself. And that's one word, Mylar Melodies. That'll be in the description too. And Why We Bleep is the series. And I like all of his other videos too, just really helpful. And he's got good at performing live Eurorack, which is kind of what I want to get into, but I'll do it differently than he does and how everybody else does, obviously, as we all will. And then a big staple I've enjoyed for a long time since I started finding out about synthesizers just 2 years ago or so is Marshall Arnold, and he's been making YouTube videos for like 11 or 12 years now, at least, and been he just has been talking synths and talking electronic music, and he also right now is really into showing you while he's making trance songs with like Ableton and and things with Ableton Live. And I like to get in on that too, even though I found Ableton Live to be not something that I'm into right now, and I'm going into hardware. But like, I'm even into that, even though what he also does is Moog Mondays right now. I don't know if he's got one going on for now or whether he's quit that or going to keep going with it. But Moog Mondays, or Moog One Mondays, because he has a Moog One. He actually got the 7th one, number 7. And he's also happy about firmware updates and fixes to bugs whenever they're coming and stuff like that at this point. That's the thing about getting the first of things. It's cool, but in a way, you have to deal with stuff. But yeah, that's cool too, hearing the Moog One. And just, I've hung out on his live streams already. And then when he did that, that was like, it's cool. You can hear it from somebody who you just like know and who interacts with you and stuff like that. And there's some cool people on those chats that come up too, even though there's not too many people on live chats, because it's just a thing that's just got started. But I think it's going to blow up a little bit more as a more of a social media thing when people get tired of the other awful social medias like the ones I got tired of. So on to the next one. Synthmania Paolo just got started with Synth Walks. With his synth walks, and I just watched his 3rd one. He just did synth walk number 3, and he walks around in greenways and parks and stuff like that, kind of like Bo Beats has done as well. And yeah, and I've really enjoyed Paolo's stuff. He's really well versed on the Italo disco sort of electronic music era and everything, and he was well into that stuff and everything else and all the old synths, and he has everything on racks, which is one of the big things that I'm about. He has actual wood boxes that look like this, and he's like one of the only people I've ever seen on the internet at this point that's on right now that's doing stuff that has like actual things in racks still. But he likes the old synthesizers in the racks, and he actually just plain speaks well of them still, and isn't like apologetic, like, oh, I know they sound bad, but no, he tells you exactly how they sound and where their strengths lie and stuff like that, and that's cool, and shows you. and shows you tips on how to play piano and stuff like that, even though he kind of just taught himself, I think. So yeah. Um, and I'm sorry, I'm not paying attention much to I'll read all of the top chat afterwards, by the way, too, because I know you guys are just kind of like, you guys can just hang out and um, say what you want, but I want to get through all this because this was the reason for the video, and I don't want to tarry too long. I think that's the thing about doing live uh, streams, right? Just keep it going. So yeah, um, I only have a few more to list. One being Pure Ambient Drone. He has just also started in the last few months to do these really frequent, semi-frequent talks about synthesizers and about just the background about how what the experience is like, how it feels, what it's like to be in the position that he's at, as opposed to where he used to be at. And just about all the different synthesizers, about the different synthesizers that are coming up. He's always done a lot of synth news when nobody else did, and nobody else talks about all these things that are happening. He actually talks about things that it just nobody else seems to have the time to talk about. And yeah, and that's cool. And so yeah, and so and I think he does that pretty frequently. I'm not sure that it's really live or not, but he will just be out somewhere and with his phone and just say what's on his mind, and really down to earth, and I like that. Also, one thing I caught this Monday, was Tetro's Mentor Mondays. Now, Tetro was someone who I followed before I got into synthesizers, just before or just at the beginning of, when all I knew of was like Andrew Huang from his Pink Fluffy Unicorns video that I loved from like 2004 or something like that. And it's like, oh, he has this OP1, and oh, what, that actually looks like fun, and that's a synthesizer, what? And then I was looking at Tetro, and he's doing this Ableton Live stuff and the Launchpad, um, and things like that, and I was like, oh yeah, okay. And I did end up going the Launchpad route and doing Ableton Live and all that. But back then, but he just started this Mentor Mondays, and it's really good. And what he said today was really good as well. Um, and it was about not being afraid to make bad music, make things more and more, and it'll just get better and better. And everyone you see who is really good wasn't always that way, and the basic stuff like that. um, and he says it really well, and he puts together really good videos. Bo Beats has interviewed him that once, and that's a good thing to go search for as well. So if you search both their names, um, yeah. So that comes to, yeah. Speaking of Bo Beats, yeah, Bo Beats, I support all the way. He's just he's the best, because I saw him go from basically just having like videos like everybody else to really like putting super effort into it, improving in all the ways that you have to improve to really reach out and get to more people. And he's still, through all of that, completely genuine in everything that he does. And so I think we all know that. And so I wonder whether he's gonna uh, win the music radar poll this year or not, or whether it'll be Ben from Div Kid, or someone like that as well. That would be cool too. But anyway, yeah, most of those. Okay, that music radar poll, by the way, the whole thing about like electronic music producer slash DJ category. Like what? You're going electronic music producer slash DJ. Like, and then I saw later on that they had like a live performance um category. I'm like, okay, you know. But anyway, but yeah, so, and I really like I like platforms like Patreon, because I think I always see I've supported a lot of people in the past, different people who are in the point of improving what they were doing and stuff like that, and um, I can see myself in, I don't know, maybe a year or two getting to the point where I want to put more effort into what I'm doing, into the content that I'm making. And I think Patreon is a good way for people to maybe get some support to improve what they're doing. I know a lot of people start out on Patreon saying things like, "So I can keep doing what I'm doing and what you guys love, and so I can keep doing it." But I think a better way to go about this is to and I think you'll get more and better support this way is to basically just go out and say, I can get a DSLR camera and look a lot better on video for you guys if you guys support me, or like or like I can get a good audio interface and mic instead of having a USB mic, if you support me, and then everything will, be that much better for everybody and more entertaining. And so I think that's a good way to go about it. I might do that when I do start to do Patreon in a year or two or so, when I actually have time to put out better content, and I'm not still in the like 100% in the realm of research and learning like I am right now. I'm like all there. So I don't feel too bad most of the time about a lot of the YouTube that I watch, but I feel bad about it still because I'm like, okay, well, how much have I got out of that? How much have I got out of that? Was it worth it enough? Was it worth it enough that I wasted the last 20 minutes on that, It's like, okay, instead of making music, you should be making music all the time. So really I want to I know what I need to focus on, and I need to focus on learning my gear better by using more of the functions and stuff like that. So yeah, so all that stuff, and well, okay, and I just wanted to get on the topic of Patreon, like it's not just it's like a monthly thing where you normally the first tier with rewards you give whatever they are, you give somebody $1 a month. That's like a piece of candy a month, for the videos that you already enjoy, for something that you've already got value out of, even one video. And so, but besides the month thing, there's also people who do per performance or per every time I put out a video, you support me, and I support someone who does that as well, who does really good hardware jams, but and says, "Hey, every time I come out with something, automatically, you give me a dollar or a few dollars," and I give them a few dollars for each performance, and that might seem like a lot when you're talking about, oh, when you buy a you can get a song for free or something like that, but I see it as like going out to a concert, and it's a live concert that just happened, and um and I and it seems like that to me, and I get so much value out of each video. um and say like Berg from Oli Laboratories. um I'll put him in the description. He does that, you can pledge a certain amount for every time he's going to come out with something else, because and the thing is, I trust him to every time, every song that he comes out with is going to be really satisfying and nice to me, because it's the kind of music that I want to listen to in general, like that I don't see anywhere else. Like, it's his kind of music that I want to listen to. um it takes all the boxes for me, mainly, and I really like it, and so I get a lot out of it, and so I want to support people that way, and that'll take down the industry too. I really believe it'll help and keep it from coming back, because it wants to come back with Article 13 and stuff like that. So yeah, so I'm gonna get into ranting if I do that, but I'm not gonna. The challenge? Oh yeah, the Berg 1K challenge. I've been thinking about nothing but that, if that's what you're talking about. Um, and so I might do it just on the side. I don't know when. It might have already just happened and had a due date or something. But I would put maybe, um, we'll see, maybe my two pocket operators, which are like, with the covers, $80 each. This is 350. This was 400. That's not even close to 1,000 yet. This with the System 1. Um, yeah. So, but yeah, mainly I do like more minimal things than that. I hardly ever do something uh, that would total 1,000. Like, this was 250. The thing is, most of the things I didn't actually pay for. Most things were gifts or that I actually earned in different ways, too. So they didn't even feel bad to me, and that's a good point to make too. Um, Not just things aren't, things when you buy them new aren't. You could get this and that or the other thing. Well, no, you could be really smart, even smarter than that, and get good deals and do favors for favors and stuff from networking with people. Yeah. Um, I have no idea what's going in on in the chat. I'm sorry. My ability to read that is actually really like hard. It's hard. So I'm gonna just keep on talking and I'm gonna read it afterwards. Adamski A, it's good to see you again. Yes. Adamski, yeah. I just like I mentioned, I just saw Synthmania's Paolo's last Synth Walk number 3, and I got a real kick out of the Adamski the question that you gave him. What if if there were a world without synths? What would you play? And he actually kind of got bent out of shape out of about that question, and I got a kick out of that. And it's really endearing. I love him. He's cool, but yeah, it's like no, I can't even think of that's ridiculous. Why would you even why would you think something like that? I love it. I love that people love synthesizers as much as I do. And especially like the older ones that are really great. Yeah. What's up? What's up? Yay. Hey, everybody's here. That's cool. So yeah, January is coming. Uh huh. Man, I don't know. I don't have anything else to talk about necessarily, except oh yeah. So what's coming in the mail to me tomorrow probably is a tip top happy ending case for my Eurorack to get started. So I'm starting Eurorack, and uh, uh, and a Roland 531. I believe I said it was 521 in my first live stream, and it's actually 531 mixer, um, and which has control on. It's a 6-channel mixer that has control on the panning, all the panning, and it also has a line level in compressor that can be either mono or I mean preamp. Sorry, preamped signal in to it that can go be either mono or stereo if you flip the switch. And if it's stereo, um, it can come into 2 of the tracks. And anyway, I don't want to explain it, but it's got a lot of good functionality. Um, and and it has Eurorack outs and regular outs and a headphone out. Um, and and it's really nice. And I, one's going to do for now, and we'll see about VCAs because that's the thing about it is it it has faders for the volume, but it doesn't have CVN control for the volume. So 6 VCAs, maybe I'll get the hex VCA, even though it wouldn't stylistically mix with the 531 mixer, but it would work. Um, so anyway, yeah, there's that. But what I've realized working in VCV rack is that I'm gonna need a lot of like multiples to do what you want. A lot of times, if you're like, oh, I need to do this, the reason why you can't do it is because you need a multiple. And I know you can do that with like these thingies for your chords, but that's generally passive, and I need buffered mults because of like putting more LFOs on things without having to have LFOs and more LFOs and you know such and such, any kind of modulation that way. You just don't want to be limited. Yeah. So that's one thing to think about. That, but I'll be able to do a lot with just what I have now is the plats, another plats, so two platses. So basically two voices, synth voices, full synth voices that have their own VCA on them, and uh, oh hey, Acoustic Stevo, my good friend. Yeah, everybody should go check out Acoustic Stevo's channel. He especially his I Hate YouTube one. It's right up our alley. Anybody who's older and understands how crazy all this has gotten. Anyway, and he does really good music too, and plays music live is awesome. Acoustic, yeah. We'll bring guitars and synths together on YouTube and collaborate and stuff like that. You also mentioned Acoustic Stevo. I have to say, yeah, thanks for coming in and reminding me because I wanted to say to Inky and other people what you said. I haven't even checked it out yet, but it's a band. Was it Band Hub? Band Hub. It's a place where everybody can like come in and everybody's got their box and you got like four boxes or whatever and everybody can play together at the same time, like you would in maybe Google Hangouts or something like that. But I haven't tried Google Hangouts either. So BandHub, try out BandHub, people. I might. I don't know. I don't have much time to learn new stuff. And so yeah, that's where I'm lazy sometimes. And so I'm kind of like, no, I'm not. Anyway, I research things and I go off on tangents, and sometimes I don't research enough on certain things. And usually that's like software and computer programs, like OBS. I'm going to put off that for a while and just do this, so I can have good sound through my. This is the first time I'm trying an audio interface, so we'll see how that's better than just going into into my laptop microphone. Yeah. So not you. What? Uh, um. Yeah. So, well, Inky, you mentioned that you wanted to collaborate. I want to collaborate with you, especially it's just like if there was some way we could like do like circuit. That's why I want to do a circuit challenge out there because I'm gonna play the circuit for a little while, maybe the next couple of weeks or the next or maybe for January as well, and I want to see other people doing that one way or another. But I think it's good to do like maybe like a I don't know, like a 115 BPM 62 swing. That's what my that's what I'm gonna do on mine right here. This 8 session one that I'm gonna do, and I'll put it out as soon as I can, and we'll just. But I'll use everything on the circuit. That's what I'm trying to do. Is I'm going to try to use the effects, use panning, use nudging, or whatever. Just go through all the things and see if I want to use them, and all that. Yeah. So as far as the channels that I mentioned earlier, if anyone came in later, I'm going to link them all in the description, or all synth talk channels and music tech talk channels that from people who are really down to earth and cool and helpful. And I'll link them in the description like an hour after this. They'll be there after I stop. But I don't really have anything else to say. So I'm going to check out the stream. Yeah, this is all like what I'm going to do this week is all about just use all the circuit, use more of the circuit. It was the same thing with the pocket operators. I realized like it's hard to delete those preset patterns and stuff like that because they're so cool. But I just decided one day after I got the pocket operator, after I got the arcade, I was just like, I'm just gonna delete all of them, and then yeah, it was like, and then and the idea is like, what if you use all of them, and then what if you use all if you what if you chain 128 uh 16-step patterns together? Like, you have a good song on a pocket operator. So use the whole thing if it's there, right? And so I got to get myself to do that, and I actually would like to challenge others to do the same, because I think people have an issue with that. Just like, call it good, just do it and call it good. Um, yeah. So not no, yeah, no, not 120, because yeah. That's anything but that. No, it's cool, but yeah. Okay, this is 145. That's like psytrance, and that's rough. That you got to have a break from that. You got to have breaks. You got to have breaks that are like at least 16 bars long. Like, I can't just, my heartbeat can't take that. So I at 135, that's pretty fast. That's like happy hardcore territory right there. And I don't know. I'd rather go down to like 111, and not quite hip hop, because hip hop is like, okay, everybody's like 90s hip hop, everybody, and it's chill. But I think I want to just like go right in between there. I want to do, mine's going to be progressive house. Progressive house meaning, no, it's just going to be house. It's not going to be very progressive. I'll go into my whole house theory in a whole big video. Yeah. Uh-huh. Caustic, yes. I've heard of that. Yeah, totally. But I don't have any experience, so I can't talk. Yeah. Anyway, yeah. So what was I talking about? I was talking about, okay, yeah. So the mixer, I was talking about the Roland 500 mixer. So I've got two plats, a mixer, and a clouds. So the two plats can go into the left and the right of the clouds, and they can be left and right. The thing is, clouds has some stereo panning options that are pretty cool, and stereo widening and stuff like that. Clouds is just amazing, and I've been working in VCV Rack, and I posted this video just before this, last night, of just my favorite thing that's going on with it right now. That's just one thing. I mean, Clouds is really truly amazing. So, and you can still get it all over the place, mainly DIY builds that people have done. Reverb.com. I don't know. There's probably a lot of other places too, but yeah, and so, and I'll get more plats too. One of the things is, I was already planning on doing this. This was my idea, but funny thing, last night I saw a video of somebody doing it with a mallet cat, which is a MIDI mallet percussion, like xylophone, marimba type of instrument, except it's MIDI. It's just pads, but it's big block pads. It's like as if it were one, and you can hit it with mallets, and and um and it's MIDI, so you can have your MIDI to CV into your Eurorack. And somebody actually had different Plats modules. They were all Plats, and four different Plats modules, and going in from these mallets. And I was already talking about doing that with ears modules and going like that and hitting them on my Eurorack with mallets. But like, eventually, I would love to get a mallet percussion MIDI. Uh, uh, Controller, because I am a mallet percussionist. That's what I am. I'm a marimba player. I always have been. That's my instrument. Uh, and what I do in Eurorack will always be, I think, will be geared, not always be. We'll start out right now being geared towards uh, physical modeling and mallets, strings, just actual real environment type of stuff. And I think that's the real um, advantage and value of digital modules in a world where, oh, we're going modular. Why would you go digital? It's just a computer behind a faceplate. It's just little computers behind faceplates that do their thing with a knob, right? Well, no. Yeah, actually, it's true, kind of, but in the case of mutable instruments and a lot of other manufacturers too that do digital modules, it's a lot of times it's to create those real real world physical environment sort of things, um, that just plain subtractive synthesis cannot. And that's probably why another reason why I'm not worried about that I'm not going into 5U, even though I like really big knobs, is because at least right now it kind of stops at the subtractive. Um, yeah. So yeah. So I think I'll be able to do a lot, and I'll be posting videos of my first Eurorack journeys that way. And but the thing is, how do I sequence the Platts modules? I've got the DFAM has two sequencers on it actually. This The pitch and velocity are both can be sequenced differently, but with the same clock. So I can have them doing different pitches and have them doing two note chords, basically, if I want to, or have them go on different steps of here, each on different steps, and have them alternate even, or something like that. Or I can use my mini brute, and I'm going to try that out too, and that way I can actually play one um, on the keyboard, play a Platts while one is sequencing, or something like that, or have a arpeggio going while one is just sequenced eight note sequence, uh, and then have it all go through clouds. It'll be great. But yeah. Oh, what have you missed? Oh, hey, Simon, how's it going? Yeah, basically, I just listed off people in YouTube synth community, um, you'd say that are on YouTube that are basically synth talk about synths and audio production in terms of synthesizers and stuff like that. I just listed off. I'm going to put them in the description later, an hour after this or so. They'll be on after I stop this. They'll be on. I listed Molten Music Monthly, Robin, who does he does live streams sometimes. Mylar Melodies does the Why We Bleep series. That's really good. Marshall Arnold, I mentioned Synthmania, Paolo, who's the Italo disco guy who does a lot of good synth stuff, and I mentioned Tatro, who does mostly stuff in Ableton Live and with um, uh, Novation controllers and stuff, and also the that thing. Anyway, and Pure Ambient Drone I also mentioned, and I mentioned Bo Beats. All people who like sit there and talk about synths, kind of like Simon the Magpie. Also has a great channel where he talks about everything and he speaks his mind, no matter what's going on. And Simon actually was one of my first inspirations for wanting to go DIY a little bit and mess around with things and try to fix things because of his circuit bending, and also Simon, because of your just live stream hangouts where you just be there and people can interact with you, and that's really like probably my first inspiration for wanting to maybe go live like I've been doing now. This is my third time, but last time it got cut short because of the utility pole being worked on 5 minutes into my stream. Go figure. Like I just, I wasn't even like mad. I was just like, oh my gosh, like that's cosmic. Like that it would happen again, because 2 weeks before, when I did it on a Monday, same thing happened. The utility poles, people worked on it right when I was gearing up to live stream, but this time I was live streaming and then it happened. It's like, okay, great. So I'm back to doing it on Monday, because actually mainly because Inky just said, yeah, I'm I'm without kids on Monday. So I'm like, okay, instead of Tuesday, I'll do it on Monday again. Because, okay, here's the deal: is I don't want to worry about YouTube. And Simon, you've helped me to be inspired more to not worry about YouTube so much and just put things out. And that's another thing I mentioned earlier about Tatro, and in his Mentor Mondays that he's doing now, he just mentioned in this Monday, that don't be afraid to put out bad music. Well, same thing with YouTube. Don't be afraid to just be out there and say what you say and do what you do, but like be careful and stuff. But don't be afraid to look like an idiot yourself, because like that's really like keeping me going, because I am such an idiot, but uh you know but hey, like that we all are, and I understand that. So you just gotta just buck up and just be there and be now, be here now, and be present and be okay with it. And so yeah, so I'm not nervous, not too nervous anyway. Yeah, careful is boring. I don't know. I missed the whole conversation, you guys, but yeah, true. Uh, but anyway, that's one of my thoughts. But also, I also have a thought to like get better in with my video quality. Just get a better DSLR that does good video, um, and audio quality. This is my first time trying an audio interface instead of just doing that, and I think it's probably going to work out pretty well. And then I'll get a mic stand, and improve, maybe like topics, not just be rambling, but like kind of know what I'm going to talk about beforehand. But I'm never going to be scripted or anything, because I can't really do that. But I'm going to learn to be like looking at the camera instead of looking down at myself here. See, I'm not actually looking at you guys. Like I learned things like you gotta see. I've got this little pointer, and it's still not even helping me. I've got this pointer looking right at the camera, like where the camera pinhole camera thing is, and I'm like, look at that, look at it. I used to have this post-it note with an eyeball that says, "Look here." But yeah, so yeah, I might just be brave because I'm later in life, and I just said I've been to the end of the universe, and through the other side, out the rabbit hole, and through the rabbit hole and out the other side. um so there's nothing that can really hurt me at this point. I think maybe people my age probably feel that way a lot of times, where it's just like, yeah, everything's happened in my life, and I'm settled into just knowing who I am, and create a world around that. And if anyone is in my way, just get them out of the way. I don't know. I feel kind of fearless, maybe because I have a 3-year-old right now, and that makes us strong. It makes you strong to have that, to have that pinned down, and to not be so like what's the rest of my life going to be like. I know what the next 20 years of my life is going to be like, and I've been gearing up for it for a while, and I have somebody to protect, and so I'm strong, and I can be an example now. And I've always just thought about, well, what am I going to do to be an example, besides just what I had done all through my 20s, which is just learn and learn. I feel like I'm still just learning and learning, but thanks to YouTube, I can learn in front of people, and you guys can see how fast I'm going to learn at all this audio stuff and all the synthesizer stuff, the hardware, putting together hardware and playing it live stuff. I'm really going to do that stuff, and you guys should too. And you should post more videos, and more people should post talking videos and not care about what you look like, and tell me about it, and then I'll showcase you and stuff like that, and we can keep this as a social media, because I have no other social media, and that's why I'm trying to do this, because of my own selfish reasons. Is because I don't do Facebook, and I won't, and I have an Instagram, and I put a photo up on there, but then I never went back to it ever. So I think I'm going to close it, but I haven't figured out how yet. Um, I'm just gonna go to YouTube, and I might, if I when I get to the point of having good content, I'll branch out to like doing something maybe on Discord, and I'll probably be on Patreon. So yeah, and earlier in the video, I also talked about Patreon, and how I like to support people on Patreon, and I think that's a good way maybe for people to actually beg for money to improve by getting things like DSLR cameras and better and audio interfaces and things that they actually need to buy, instead of saying, oh well, I'm gonna, I don't know. anyway, I have some ideas for a year or two in the future if I decide to do that. If I ever actually get the time to make consistently quality content that never goes below a certain point, like say Bo Beats or um, Noir at Blanc V or whatever. I'm talking about video quality with all the. I would never do the quick. I don't know. Um, the thing is, I don't have a computer that could even handle a good video editing software. But I used to video edit, and I actually like the process, so I might like to do that. But yeah, I think I just like I want to get better at musical improvisation and playing music live. I also want to get better at doing at public speaking live and being able to do something and just rant and be actually coherent. And not afraid and do videos like this too. And I like that idea. I think everyone should kind of just buck up and go ahead and get on there and do it. Because I was worried when I started. I was like, I should watch some videos, motivational videos about how to not be boring on YouTube. And I was like, no, I'm not going to watch that. I'm just going to go the other route and go like, I don't care, you know. And that's what if that's what'll get you there, that's what'll get you here. And same thing with putting the camera on you practicing your jams. You never know what cool thing's going to come out. You got to do it. You got to film your jams. It's just start filming things, and I've started filming raw footage of things out in public and filming sounds because of doing that for I Will Create a couple of weeks ago, and that was fun. So I might actually get into sampling, and that's a good thing to do too. Is just get a bunch of raw footage of stuff, and then maybe put it together, and then put your music to it if you don't even want to be on camera. Yeah, I'm just saying. I'm just rambling now. So I think I'm pretty much done. Yeah. Um, yeah. He told Cab Bo Beats ain't that interested in quality. He told Cab Curio. Well, yeah, I don't know. Compared to me, basically, I see. I don't have a good camera. Um, uh, I I don't have editing. I can't put my what I do into editing software, so it's always just one shot. I have to do one shot. I can't do quick cuts like they do, and other things, or like or when I do live streaming, I haven't figured out OBS, so and put a lot into that, and don't have a really good computer for doing a lot on OBS altogether. Um, so I haven't jumped that hurdle, and I don't really plan to anytime soon because that's money stuff. And yeah, I don't plan on getting on Patreon and begging for money to get stuff like that myself. But I would say somebody else could do it. I see. The thing is, I don't really actually need money that much right now. What I need is time. I don't have time to do anything, and then I just spend all my time watching YouTube videos. So um, that's where I'm at with the DFAM. Is I spend all my time watching YouTube videos. Confessions. So yeah, but I'll play it forever. Especially with my Euro rack, it'll be really helpful. All right, catch you later, Adamski. Actually, and I'll catch you later, everybody. Yeah, because I'm gonna take off. And thanks everybody for coming. Thanks Darren. Thanks Adamski. Thanks Inky. Thanks Farah or Giorgio. And thanks Simon and whoever else I might have missed for coming. And I'll see you next Monday probably, because even though I don't have weekends free, my weekend is just full of stuff, and so I can't prepare for anything to happen on Monday. That's a great way to do a live stream. Just it's a live stream. It's just a hangout, so I didn't prepare for it, and we'll just have it be talking stuff. Maybe. Tell me what you think about all this. Be frank with me, like about what I'm doing wrong, and give me advice. I want you to give me advice, and not just me think of being somebody who talks and gives advice. I don't want to be that as much as I need advice right now. So yeah, especially on like, should I get the SL Mark III or or not? Yeah. So all right, I'll keep you guys uh posted on, yeah, next Monday. Oh, So how's it going? Yeah. Okay. All right. I'll talk to y'all later. I'm ending it now. Take care, y'all. Thanks for coming. Jam on.